It is done. Constitutional Amendment number 3 is no longer a bill. It is no longer a proposal. It is no longer a subject for parliamentary debate. President Emerson Mnangagwa assented to it. It has been gazetted as Act number 6 of 2026. It is now part of the supreme law of Zimbabwe. That is not a political opinion. It is a constitutional fact. The past week, while some continued debating the amendment online, thousands of Zimbabweans gathered across the country to celebrate its enactment. Whether you celebrated or opposed it, one thing is now beyond dispute. The constitutional process has concluded. And that means the national conversation must now also evolve. For months, the debate around CAA3 has been dominated by one question: who wins politically? That is an understandable question, but it is also very incomplete. Constitutions are not written only for politicians. They are frameworks for governing a nation. They shape how institutions function, how governments plan, how public resources are allocated, and ultimately, how development is delivered. Think about it. A major mine does not reach full production in 5 years. A dam is not conceived, financed, and completed in one electoral cycle. Rail corridors, power stations, industrial parks, and new cities are not built between one election and the next. They require long-term planning, financing, execution, and above all, policy consistency. If you study the world's greatest success stories, one lesson appears repeated. Long-term transformation is rarely the product of short-term thinking. Nations that industrialized, built world-class infrastructure, and transformed millions of lives did so because they maintained a consistent national development direction over many years. Leaders changed, the governments evolved, circumstances shifted, but the commitment to long-term development endured. Supporters of Constitutional Amendment number 3 argue that Zimbabwe should be judged by a similar principle, not whether politics disappears, because politics never does, but whether constitutional stability creates the conditions for more consistent planning, stronger investor confidence, and faster delivery of national development. Ultimately, the success or failure of this reform will not be decided by today's arguments. It will be decided by tomorrow's results. Now, let us deal with the law. CAA3 did not become law through a back door. It was gazetted, subjected to public consultation, debated by Parliament, passed by the constitutionally required 2/3 majority in both houses, and assented to by the President in accordance with the constitutional amendment process. People are free to disagree with that outcome, but constitutionalism demands more than the freedom to oppose. It also requires respect for constitutional outcomes once the lawful process has run its course. To those already organizing protests against this act, understand exactly where you stand. The bill you disagree with is a bill you can campaign against. A law you disagree with is very different. It is binding. If your objection is genuine, the courts remain open. Public advocacy remains open. Future legislative processes remain open. Those are the constitutional avenues available to every society governed by the rule of law. But once you cross into illegal protest action, you are no longer contesting a policy. You are choosing to violate the law in pursuit of overturning a law. You are inviting the attention of law enforcement, and that is a fight you will never win. The political contest over CAA3 has ended. The accountability contest has begun. Zimbabweans should now demand that what really matters: better roads, reliable electricity, modern hospitals, quality schools, productive industries, more jobs, stronger investment, and measurable improvements in their daily lives. History rarely remembers constitutional amendments for the arguments they generated. It reminds nations how they were built. CAA3 is now law. The debate over whether it should become law is over. The real question now is whether Zimbabwe will use this constitutional certainty to build faster, govern better, and develop further. Judge CAA3 not only by who supported it or who opposed it, judge it by what it builds. This is the Goto Brief. Thank you.